Okay. So the point here is, okay, in this video, I'm gonna start it like this, right? Okay. And wherever you're going, you can do this. You can do this. Not that the paper is a cheat sheet. It's just to help us, or to help me. We all are actually living in the past. We're all operating in the past, or we're all seeing and experiencing light from the past. It shouldn't be too hard to grasp this concept, in the sense that right now light is reflecting off of me and I'm emitting, right, and it's coming toward you. So that light that's coming toward you, technically or most accurately, is now old light. It's previous light. It's light that already happened. It's an image that's coming to you that already happened. Split seconds ago, fine, and that's one of my points that I like to describe. And this is something that I worked on for a long time, years ago as well, and also wrote ideas about this and stuff. So I used to say, like, well, we might have like a toe or a foot, deep in the past. We could be knee deep in the past, and for some people, they're totally immersed in the past. Is one of the little, jokes, ha ha ha. That we do and stuff, because we're all living in the past. The truth of the matter is we're all living in the past. But the cool thing about that is that it's going to fortify, and all of these talks in this recent series that I'll be sharing and stuff are all sort of related, or they're going to have a lot of content that is interchangeable. And by watching the videos as we follow along, we're going to have a broader or more comprehensive, or at least understanding and stuff based on those as well. So it's not like I'm completely giving you completely different stuff. So the point is that okay, when the light reflects off of me. Okay, what I was trying to get at before about relating to other videos and stuff is this is going to relate to the idea that there is a source. There is something that behaves very similar to, or that we can represent in terms of an origin source. There are such things as sources. Before you can have multiple amounts of something and versions of something, we need to have a source. We need to have an original. We need to have a basis. We need to have whatever system is that which behaves exactly like when we talk about our universe and stuff like that. What is the script that holds, that sets the standard, but also holds it, enforces it, the laws of our nature, the laws of our physics. We can understand that, and that is what's happening, but we could still always go down the chain and say, but why is that? Why are the laws scripted that way? Okay, don't get fooled into thinking that most of our definitions are predominantly descriptions or equally descriptions. It's very tricky. So why am I sort of maybe giving you that look and stuff? Because it's sort of, as I'm speaking, it's sort of also a reminder that I'm saying stop, 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 stop. Okay? So I'm saying stop, stop. Yeah, please get back, because if I go too far, I'm not going to get back to the idea, and then we're just going to have to cut and start over and stuff. So there are origin sources and stuff, and here's another great example of why. Because we understand through the relationships and the nature of light and us interpreting, experiencing, okay, that stimulus, the photon, quantifying it, okay, and then processing it and interpreting it and turning it into the data that we can construct information on. All the stuff that happens when the brain gets involved as well, and what the senses are doing and all that good stuff, right? So, okay, all of that information that we're gathering totally or most accurately is described as previous. It's previous information. All right, we understand. You understand it, right? It's not such a okay. The greater the distance, the way more easier and obvious it becomes, to the point where we all know that understanding that light we see from outer space and some stars, we can understand that some of that light comes from a star and a body or whatever that doesn't even exist anymore. That could have long since died out, but it takes that long because of the great distance for the light to travel and for us to see. So plenty of times, or a lot of stars and stuff that we may see out there may actually be, okay, may no longer exist in a real time. from there. But it takes, so what we're looking at is we're looking at light from the past. But we don't, it's not exclusive at all, but we tend to not think about that in our very immediate distances and stuff. And true, those immediate distances are dealing with split second, okay, so very, 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 brief lag, okay, but nevertheless it still is and stuff. Now, what's great about that is that we're only split seconds from the actual source. We're only split seconds from an origin source and stuff. And I think this is just coffee, not spiked or anything like that. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't hide it if I was having a nice glass of wine or something and chatting with you guys. Nothing to hide. Okay, so we're talking about some kind. This was a great moment. I was thinking to talk a little bit more detail about that origin source. Now, we touched on in the other videos. We touched on the idea that a 3D amount of property, at least what we see, okay, or what we're looking at when we look at a 3D, may not be the total amount of that 3D. Just in visual experience or in actual physical property, okay? Regardless of how much we can piece together or walk around it or look at it, the actual things that we can experience here in our third dimension, in a 3D world, physical space may actually have more than that 3D amount of property to them. They may span 4 to 5 dimensions worth of direction to themselves and stuff like that. Let's keep it, I don't want to, sometimes we just throw out dimension without ever attacking on a few more terms to it, which are very valuable to give us a more realistic idea of what we're talking about, because otherwise we're just throwing out dimensions and it's sort of dangerous. It sort of just naturally implies, or maybe because of pop culture and sci-fi and stuff, sort of starts to imply these other places and stuff and this other, but it's not necessarily true, like I said before. I just don't want us to get the idea that every time we mention dimension, this automatically means some other world, some other place, and stuff like that, because that's not entirely true. Exactly like the idea that when we get to the atomic and subatomic scales, they're still here, but relative to that scale, to that state, or a behavior or interaction at that level, at that scale, it certainly can behave or has some unique properties and stuff that, behave like another world, but it's not in the sense that it's not it's not in another world in the sense that it's not another world. But you see what I'm saying, right? Okay, it's not some other place, it's here. But it has such a unique, or it has some unique properties, it's such a, or conditions or whatever, that it's equally useful to describe it in terms of a unique dimension as well to it and stuff. So, how we know that we can get close to an origin state, an origin source of something, is a perfect example I have, or a really good example, is if I have a lamp and I got the light bulb and the light bulb is emitting the light and you're seeing the light, and the light is moments after the fact, moments after the source that has created that light, the light bulb and stuff. You could get up and break the light bulb and you would put an end to the emission of that light. Okay, so I can represent, or we can at least start thinking in the sense that, okay, at a distance, or wherever you were when you were experiencing and seeing the light from the light bulb, you were seeing information, value, you were seeing results and stuff, you were seeing emissions that were from the past, that are previous, that had already happened. But you were also able to traverse the distance, and you were also able to interact, okay, and actually stop that light from happening. So you also had access to the origin source as well. Okay? So we're all living in the past, split seconds behind, okay, but we have access to that. All right? So you understand that concept? Cool. So